Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is Dominions for the Thrones of Ascension. We are Ulm, and we are forging ahead. And here is the new front in the war versus R'lyeh, the war that has not yet started, but will start soon. As you can see up here, the Undersea Empire of Black Ulm has crumbled and is now being divvied up between R'lyeh, who has really managed to dominate most of the ocean here, and Pelagia, who's actually holding a strong second. I'm kind of rooting for Pelagia at this point because even though I'm technically at war with them, I don't intend to fight them anymore, and I really don't think they intend to fight me. What's my province defense in Divan? I should have 30 on all the coasts, but I can't afford it for a lot of places. Let's look at the messages for this turn. It is late winter in the year 5 of the Ascension Wars. Itachi is summoning winter wolves, just a way to use our water gems, because we have a ton of them. Daggerel searched Dirsheet for magic sites, but found nothing. We had some blood volunteers. In Searing Sands, the effective government of this province is giving increased tax revenues. And one of the local nobles, who is a cowardly sort and afraid of uprising, has increased the defense in Bycliff. I support that. I support that quite a bit, so good job, Cowardly Noble. Alright, so just to give you a sense of where things are going here, I'm moving Praetorian Panda out. He is now currently in Iron Range, and I'm moving him up to the front. I'm a little nervous, actually, about using our Iron Angel, because the one benefit that Praetorian Panda has against R'lyeh is he's mindless, and R'lyeh has Mind Blast attacks. So not too big a deal if you're attacking them with a huge army, but if you're trying to solo a province, one character with a mind can get taken down pretty easily. Now, the good news, of course, is he has a magic resistance of 19, which is pretty good, but still it makes me a little nervous. He does have a lot of hit points, so he can withstand a few Mind Blasts, but I just don't like the idea. So we're going to try to be swooping in some of these back provinces and taking out province defense, and hopefully he'll be strong enough to do that. I do have Anko here. And in addition to Anko, we now have Lord Asmodeus, who is completely kitted up as a spy as well, just as good as Anko. Other than that, I'm getting Zeus kitted up for battle. I was thinking what to do with him. I was either going to use him as one of our best Earth Mages or as a super combatant, and because this is the Earth Lord with regeneration, I'm going to use him as a super combatant, and he has fear. Well, he has fear from the Horror Helm. So I'm going to give him a brand and a shield, either the Vine Shield or the Awe Shield. I'm going to give him the Cloak of Shadows, because all of his protection is ingrained naturally, so it doesn't matter what he wears. So I can give him a Cloak of Shadows, which gives him etherealness, and he is going to be casting the Earth Reinvigoration spell, and he has no encumbrance on top of that. So we might, I don't know, we might give him an encumbrance item, we might not. As far as other items, I'm moving up Jorkin Almac and Roderick Stormborn, because they're completely kitted out. Now, let me go into this one more time. I know I've done this before, but the Enchanted Shield with my Smiths and a Dwarven Hammer, 1 Astral Pearl. The Dragon Helmet, 1 Fire Gem. The Armor of Knights, 1 Earth Gem. The Girdle of Might, 1 Earth Gem. And the Dancing Trident, 1 Air Gem. So the total cost for these 5 items, 5 gems. That is the strength of Ulm, making tons of small items. Their bonus that they get of 2 gems is kind of worthless when you're forging a 30-gem item. But if you're forging a 5-gem item, and you have the Dwarven Hammer again, which gives you another 2 gems off, you get, for this would normally cost 25 gems, and we got it for 5. Now, the Firebrand cost us 6 gems, but we're starting to roll out water brands instead of frost brands, which technically are costing us 3 gems, because the Soups, the priestess who is, or the sorceress who is forging it, has the Dwarven Hammer. Now, if we had a Ulmish Smith that we empowered to water, which would probably end up costing us more water in the long run anyway, they could do it for 1 water gem. But he'd have to produce something like 30 of them for it to be cost effective. And that's not where we're going. Let me introduce some new people. First of all, we have Dr. Delamand, the Jade Priestess. I've got Armor of Knights on her, the Dancing Shield, and a Thistle Mace. She is going into battle right now with our Sacred Jade Maiden Dinosaur Riders. She's going to bless them and then cast nature spells like Bark Skin. So that's her role. More of a support. And then, And then in Oiperi, we have Maximus Dicus Erectus. Yes, we are at the silly portion of our name list now. So Maximus Dicus Erectus is there waiting to get some items. In Iron Range, we have Fap. It's funny that those two came in together. With a name like Fap, I think I'm just going to let him stay in Iron Range and research, because it seems like he probably desires a lot of alone time. We have Jiran of the Far Northern Realms up here in the Royal Forest. And in Ulm, we have Deathhaven. And that's everyone. So let's end the turn. You know what I didn't check is the magic research. Not that it really matters, but... let's see what's happening. We may attack Rylay in this next turn. Uh-oh. Ubosathla, the Bishop Fish, has claimed the throne of bureaucracy in the name of Levathu. No magic sites were found. We did get some blood volunteers. In Gemer, the temperature has dropped dramatically. That could be an attack spell, but we like it cold. In Hailmire, a hurricane has struck the land. That also could be an attack spell. Both of these could theoretically be cast by Pelagia, since they're water-focused. Bad Omens in Kobos. And a worldwide event, a cluster of 5 stars could be seen shining more brightly than usual for a week. This is interpreted as an omen of good luck and fertility. Excellent. Alright. Well, first let's name some folks. I think Joern's our new guy, right? Yep. So Joern is going to be human, which makes sense, being as he is a human. In Oiperi, we have Alfred, the Black Knight, who is going to be Tsar. Okay. In Umbro, we have Urkborn, the Commander, who is going to be Dr. Bacon. And I'm occasionally recruiting commanders in Umbro just to move troops away from it. Okay. And did we get someone new in Iron Range? We did not. Royal Forest? We did. Albert is going to be Sir Jameson, who I believe is possibly a appreciator of fine whiskey. All right, lovely. All right, these guys have to move up. Dr. Delamand, Roderick Stormborn, and Jorkon Alkai are going to move up. They'll meet up at Western Plains. Maximus Dicus Erectus is also here because he is going to be getting his items here. I wanted to get him away from Oiperi with a ton of people. Alright. So we have the Drow Lover here. We're going to move Anko up to Quadra. Drow Lover is going to move up to Enakfale. I don't think these guys are ready yet. It's funny, this video has gone really quickly. I've already gone through 2 turns, and now I just have to move people around. I guess I didn't really talk very much about what I was planning, and there weren't very exciting things to watch on either of the reports. So these guys are going to fire at... I wonder if they would consider Illithids to be archers. I'm going to give it a try, and we're going to put them in line formation. And we're going to take Rylay on with a forward-facing attack because, again, they're deadly ranged attackers. So it's in our best interest to get close to the front and shoot at them. Alright, we have Corporal Chaos, the Priest Smith. There we go. That's our typical Iron Blizzard focus here. And he has 3 guardians. And then down here we have Jan von Schwabia. Actually, we'll put Corvus Corax with him up here, since he doesn't have any guardians. And Corvus Corax is just a regular smith as far as I can tell, so he's going to go our typical Magma Eruption, Legions of Steel. And then Jan von Swabia will do the same thing. Oops. There we go. Oh, he's already injured. Weakened. Alright, that's not a problem. We'll put him here, along with K-54 and K-54's Guardians. And K-54, do I have the Black Priest? Yeah, so Iron Skin, Temper Flesh, Blessing. Well, I guess we'll use Blessing nowadays. And he'll just Sermon of Courage people. It's actually not that useful, though, because he's not around infantry. And the crossbowmen don't really need courage. It's these guys up here. I guess he'll Iron Blizzard as well. We're going to go Iron Skin, Blessing, and then we'll Iron Blizzard. Because, yeah, there's no point in him Sermon of Couraging the crossbowmen. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay. So this army's set up. So we're going to move them into Winden. This is Arcade Knight's army. So they're going to attack the fortress of Palame. And Barabel and Solius and Demonicus, Domaris. Wait, shoot. You guys are together. Alright. So Yikali, Smith Masters, Theophrastus, Geralt of Rivia, Solius, and Barabel are going to head to Sinkhole Swamp. And Barabel's all set up, but Yikali needs to be here somewhere here. And he can just do our typical Master Smith stuff. Actually, let's put him up here so he can Iron Skin, or sorry, he can Legion of Steel these guys. And then Smith Masters, also a regular Smith. Theophrastus, also a regular Smith. So this is going to be an army that masses Magma Eruption. They don't have that many troops, so there's Geralt of Rivia, who's been cursed, but he has Heroic Endurance. He is originally set to Blade Wind. Actually, Blade Wind is okay against Rylait. They don't have incredible amounts of protection. Solius, also Blade Wind. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And Geralt of Rivia. And then Theophrastus is going to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to get these archers in a line formation. I don't think, though I could be wrong on this, but I don't think that they have any flying troops, because none of these guys have protection, I just noticed. Other than their own Iron Skin. Actually, oh, that's another thing. Let's change Stone Skin here to Iron Skin. It's funny how these guys were set way at the beginning, and our typical spell setup hasn't really changed. I mean, we're now using more Magma Eruption, but Magma Eruption still, it does more harm than good in a lot of instances, which really bothers me. I think the developers should increase the range just a little bit. Otherwise, you're kind of sounding off on your own people. And we'll move these guys up. And we'll move these guys like that a little bit. Perfect. So these guys will have their route in. Yikali will move up a little bit too. You know what? He needs some help. So we're going to get Geralt of Rivia. He's actually going to do Iron Warriors. Actually, no. He's going to do Iron Warriors first, and then Legions of Steel. Because Legions of Steel, I think, has a farther effective range. Alright, and we'll put Geralt up there, too. Alright, that's a pretty good setup for that. Now we have Thor Henry. He's coming up here to Duven. We have Conan Constantine, who's actually patrolling, but we're moving up Dragonstrike, Sundew, and Hero Knight up to Duven as well. Roderick Stark, Dr. Dalamand. They're moving up here, Winter Peaks. I think we have, Havel the Rock is here with his team. He's going to move up. And are we ready to outfit any more guys? Ribby, Dragonhelm, that thing. So all he needs is the... Oh, right. I was going to say the reinvigoration. What is it called? The girdle. Actually, I'm going to give Ribby the amulet of anti-magic instead. Since we don't have a girdle and I don't want to wait a turn. So the good news for that is, how do you get dark vision? The dragon helmet? Huh, dragon helmet has dark vision. Go figure. It also gives morale, which is why I'm using it. So that'll make him a little bit less susceptible to Mind Blast. So Ribby's good to go. What about Nebaritos? We have that, basically. We don't have a shield for him. Yeah, I guess we don't. Alright, so Nebaritos is going to have to wait a little bit. That's okay. And there's Praetorian Panda. Let's get him up to... Actually, he can go all the way to Omia, can he? Or can he go all the way to Duven? He can. Oh, Praetorian Panda's about ready to enter the fray. Alright, cool. And Soups, you're going to forge another Frostbrand. Dwarf Comic. You're going to forge more of these to give to our thugs. At 1 gem each, why not? It's a super deal. And Lobo, you are going to forge... Well, you know, we don't really need that many horror helms. We don't need that many horror helms because we're not giving them to our thugs. Are there any other useful death items? This makes someone a better warrior. You know what would be interesting is to give this to our guys while they're waiting. You know, waiting for items. Let's do that. Because that way they can increase their experience while just sitting around. That's kind of interesting. We're really low on death gems, but that makes sense because we're a nation that's not very into death. Alright, so Ribby, we need to give you 3. No, just 3. Guys, and we're going to put you up here. Hold. Attack rearmost. And these guys will guard you. Okay. Now these guys I'm mostly, again, going to be using to assist our armies. They're not going to be taking provinces by themselves, but if I can get like 5 or 6 of them together, then perhaps they can take lightly defended provinces. But that's definitely not their main deal. Alright, Itachi. We have tons of water gems. Naiad Warriors would be interesting. Let's do that. Why not? They have awe. They're just, in general, they're pretty good combatants. There's a bunch of them, and they have awe, so regular troops have a hard time striking them. They're not great against elite troops or people with high morale, because morale is how awe gets beaten. Bloodstone. Moonwatcher. Actually, let's get another Eye of Aiming, too, for our commanders. In Ulm, we need to start making those girdles. I've recently been having these guys forge the dragon helms. That's why they weren't forging girdles. And I'm making my dwarven hammers go as far as they can. We've developed quite a bunch of earth gems. Oh, yes, one thing I am doing is I'm getting Nidaros up to someplace a bit more useful. I know it's kind of dangerous for him right here next to Xibalba, but I want to get him closer so his like iron dragons and stuff can be helpful up here. Because here in the Gold Mountains, we already have... Oh, wow. So we have our Siege Golem, and we have our Iron Dragon. Actually, he's a Siege Golem. Okay, neither of them are undisciplined. Look at that guy. He just looks amazing. 165 hit points. Yeah, so if Nidoros can get a bunch of those guys, they're also mindless, so completely immune from Mind Blast. Although that's a problem in and of itself, because if you have a bunch of these guys led by a mage, all the Mind Blasts are going to be hitting the mage. So, that's that. Alright, I think I have another guy with a... Oh yeah, so Private LSD and Walden of Ulm are heading over to Gold Mountains to preach and get it more in our Dominion, and Dr. Quacksalver is doing the same thing, except he's trying to get all the way to Brightwoods, and it's going to take him a while. Chief Smith is heading up to Brightwoods too, and we have King T. William building a castle, and Lord Lucius, who just built a lab. But he is not going to research, he is going to patrol, along with Nathan. The purpose of the lab was to get Chief Smith here quickly, but now I'm going to have it to get Chief Smith out of here. Like I'll use, because Chief Smith has a little bit of air and astral, so he can maybe astral teleport. Yeah, I can give him a Starshine Skullcap too, if I need to give him a little bit of extra astral. He still has an open head slot. And he does have the Moonvine Bracelet, which gives him a nature bonus. I could switch that out with the Crystal Coin to give him more astral if he needs it, so he can teleport. Also, I mean, we might as well think about another global if we want, although there's really nothing that we absolutely need. Alright, Dr. Bacon. I have aiming and I guess a bow of war. I thought I had like those arbalests, but I guess I don't. And Milkster, you were going to forge another Eye of Aiming or Dancing Trident for our thugs. And I think somebody down here, I think Iron Range, somebody has a... No, I guess I was wrong. Royal Forest? Ah, Royal Tomasi. Another anti-magic amulet. Crazy Man. We have more crystal shields than we currently need. What's this do? Starfire Staff. Mostly good for an Astral Mage. Wouldn't be that good for a Commander, although it does have a ranged attack. You do the Lucky Coin, but... Another thing I was looking at, this is Armor of Virtue is really cool. 15 pearls and it gives you Awe +4, but unfortunately it's an artifact, so you can only make one of them. And then this Armor of the Dawn gives you Awe +1, so if I need people who are odd, these artifacts are good to go. This would give an astral bonus. Crystal Coin. Now this might be interesting tactically, because it allows you to basically cast the Astral Window spell, which does have a range of 6 provinces, but that way we could see into R'lyeh provinces before we perhaps raid them, just to see what kind of people they have guarding them. But we do have a bunch of spies for that too. And our attack's probably going to go faster than that does. We're not going to be using communions in this playthrough, but I have been told that they are interesting for Ulm. This could help one of our astral randoms, but we don't have very many of them. I think we're just going to go with another anti-magic amulet. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, next episode, the war against R'lyeh begins in earnest. So once again, I'm Marcus Aurelius. I would like to thank you very much for watching. Have a good one.